Hello and welcome to AMG Time And Attendance system video tutorial. In this video, I'm going to continue explanation of pay policy section and introduce you to policies configuration Windows last tab, which is intended for enabling exceptions reporting. Here you should, first of all, check Report Exceptions box in order to enable reporting of exceptions. In consecutive hours worked field, enter the amount of consecutive hours, if working more than which employee will be included in consecutive hours exception report. In overtime hours worked field, enter the amount of overtime hours, if working more than which employee will be included in overtime hours exceptions report. In daily hours worked under field, enter the amount of hours working daily less than which will be considered as an exception. And in daily hours worked over field, enter the amount of hours working daily more than which will also be considered as an exception. In both cases, employee will be included in daily hours exception report. In period hours worked under field, enter the amount of hours working in pay period less than which will be considered as an exception. And in period hours worked over field, enter the amount of hours working in a pay period more than which will also be considered as an exception. In both cases, employee will be included in period hours exception report. Besides the above configuration, which relates to all employees disregarding their age, you can also check Report Exceptions for Minors option, if you want to report exceptions separately for minor employees. Note that you can report exceptions for up to 3 different age groups. First of all, enable the groups. Then, in the age field, enter the employee age for each enabled group of minors. In daily max field, enter maximum amount of daily worked hours for each group of minors. Working daily more than the daily maximum amount will be considered as an exception, and the employee will be included in daily maximum exception for minors report. In weekly max field, enter maximum amount of weekly worked hours for each group of minors. Working weekly more than the weekly maximum amount will be considered as an exception, and the employee will be included in weekly maximum exception for minors report. In last out time field, enter maximum out time for each group of minors. Working after last out time will be considered as an exception, and the employee will be included in the last out time exception for minors report. For example, the following configuration of first group of minors means that employee under age 17 should not work more than 4 hours daily, should not work more than 20 hours weekly, and should not finish work later than 4 p.m. To view the exception reports, you should go to Standard section, open Reports wizard, select Exceptions report, and then select and generate any of the available exception reports. So that's all about the parameters that you should configure for reporting exceptions. Thank you for your attention.